Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen AKINTAYO. I'm live on OVATION TV. It's good to be here.
That okay, we know you said we shouldn't pay you, but we don't even have table and chair where you will work. Yes. The second place, true story. The second place, the reception took my CV and walked away. For 30 minutes, she didn't come back. I had to excuse myself out of the office. The third place, the man looked at me and said, "Young man, will I deceive you? There's no job." I'm talking over 10 years ago. So when young people are saying Nigeria just got bad, it's been bad for long. Long. So the man, he said, "There's no job. I can deceive you now that I will help you, but there's no job. Except from your CV, you are selling popcorn, you are doing all this business. You continue, go and start one of them, or restart one of them." He said, "You will be shocked if you keep at it. One day, something great will come." So I had no. Remember, I had done my dream when I was in university. I've done that arc. Now, because for me, I said, abandon the arc, face reality, look for job, get experience, then you can go back to your arc dream. you know. But now the world pushed me into that. So bulk SMS was, I had to do A4, buy bulk SMS 75 kobo. I will paste it on, every bus stop from Songota to get along and back. And so that was the only thing I could do. I'll go to schools, beg them to subscribe to my bulk SMS business. That was it. It was the only thing I had. And my mother had died of ovarian cancer at that point, who was our breadwinner. The little she had, she was supporting. So she was dead. My best friend's house that was cutting, they chased me out. So I had to go to the only house she built in Songota. We had days there was no food, but at least we had roof over our head, which is why real estate is important to me. Because there were days no food, but because we're not owing rent, that period, at least when my mother died till we buried her and all of that, it helped. But I've been through a lot in my life, because one of my biggest regrets is my mom not being alive. And I remember my mother's tummy just started protruding, and we didn't have money to take her to a private clinic, so she was going to teaching hospital for 6 months. They will say the doctor is not around, they will say he traveled, they will say he's busy. In fact, one day my brother went with her. She was like a 8-month pregnant woman, and the nurses were saying, "Hey, sit aside, are you the only one waiting? Sit somewhere, we don't have your time." So, and that's why even with my employees today, they know when it comes to health issues, I don't joke. I remember one of our employees, she just kept having migraine. So I trained them in the morning. So I noticed I didn't even know she had migraine, but she's always frowning her face. So one day I said, "Look, frowning your face does not work for me. What's your problem?" So she opened up that she has migraine. I said, "What have you done?" She said she's gone to hospital and they don't know what is the issue. So I said, "Okay, let us pay." I don't know whether it was 400,000. Let them do comprehensive head to toe, liver, kidney, everything. Let them check. Only to discover that I don't know whether it was a virus that had gotten to her nose. They said, assuming the thing had gotten to her brain, she was dead. In fact, I remember when her dad had to send a letter to say, "You saved my daughter's life. Your children will not die." But it was my mother's experience that taught me that, to be that sensitive. Because her boss, one day she came to the office and she had emaciated. Her tummy was like 9 months pregnant. The boss said, "Yeah, if we gather money among all the workers, let's go to a private hospital now." So they took her to a cool hospital here, and in 4 days, what teaching hospital couldn't do in 6 months, they diagnosed ovarian cancer, but it has spread. They did operation on her. 2 days later, she died. Right? But here is my biggest pain point. The entire bill we spent at a private hospital was 800 plus. So so are you telling me I lost my mom because we didn't have 800,000 naira months back? Because yes, cancer is sensitive, there's no guarantees.
Yes.
But at least you will have spent few more years and watch my graduation. So for me, thank you. So for me, that's why I tell people there's nothing you can advise me about poverty. There's nothing to like about poverty. And that's why I'm passionate about writing books, teaching people. Some people think it's show off. I mean, I'm aware we have just started. There are way many people way more successful. And I think that's why some people wonder, like, okay, why are you writing books? Dangote has not written book. But Dangote may not have gone through what I went through. And I'm sent to my own generation, right? And I have to communicate the language my own generation understands, right? And my own generation is indicting people like Dangote because he didn't write books on how they too can be pioneers in the construction, in the manufacturing industry. And I've said it, and I hope maybe Dangote will see this one. I'm willing to work with Aliko Dangote pro bono to write his first book, right? I will work with him. He doesn't need to write anything. I will interview him. We need to, that's what the youth are asking me for. I mean, I have over 2 million followers. Majority of them are young people, right? If you want to know whether I have fan base, you abuse me on my social media platform, you will see them come out. And for them, they will tell you the reason, because this man shared his story. We know his story. I went to one of our estates we launched 2019 yesterday, and I posted, because the government is now doing 8-lane road. We're now in front. I was saying, you see why you take risk. That when I launched this estate, we didn't even know we'd be in front of 8-lane. Because they just said there will be a coastal road, but we didn't know it will now pass in front of our own estate. And before you know, when I posted, people were commenting, I did the interlocking of that estate. Oh, I helped you to do the painting. I was the guy that did this one. Oh, I remember I watched that video when you launched it then. Oh, I missed out. Oh, So people, the youth are just saying, you the elders, you the elites, show us the way, encourage us. Let me know that you have also gone through trouble, right? So that when I'm going through my own, I can understand that it's normal. It's a phase.
Well, I think Dangote has shared his story times and times over, and do young people want to read now?
On conventional platforms, not in a book. These were years, these are years. They do, funny enough, there are ways around it, because the way I work with a lot of my clients for their book, we create the social media aspect of it, right? So we do it almost like an IG interview, and then we then transcribe those things. So they have the video version, they have the audio version, they have the book version. So you don't like to read, you go listen to audio. You don't like audio, you go watch the video clip. But people don't know how much. Look at what is happening with the Tony Elumelu Foundation. He's not even written a book yet, but the little he's doing, you need to see how the youths are happy. Okay, the little article here, they are just inspired. They just need hope. That's all. They're not asking for too much.
So can we classify that as part of your own CSR?
Yes.
What are the others?
We have Steve Actel Foundation, and we give out $5,000 grants, and we have the smaller category, 500,000, 1 million grants. We also have a feed program for widows. We seeded one in January with Cocoon Foundation, where we had about almost 500 widows. In fact, at the end of the day, we were now more than 500, so they had to give some other cash, for that. So we do that regularly. Also have the bursary, the Steve Actel bursary. By the way, I have 3 kids, but I have over 1,000 kids that I pay their tuition fee. And I get reports, and they benchmark between when we started, where the kind of grades the children are having now. And we have a lot more. Now we're starting a docu-series around the grants, because sometimes when you give grants, people don't know the story of those their awardees, what they did with the money, what happened. It doesn't get PR publicity. So also we feel that the docu-series will create more PR around it so people can see it. But at the same time, it also showed the stories of these young entrepreneurs. And maybe some other successful people even decide to call them and say, let me also join in supporting the person.
You are a pastor.
I'm a retired.
Retired at what
Pastor,
age?
Yes, I mean,
Tell us about it.
I
In
started-
just a nutshell.
I started pastoring as a teenager. My secondary school, I was the chaplain or president of fellowship or whatever the title is. So I started pastoring because I went to a Christian secondary school, even my primary school, Baptist, then Joshua College. But I did my work with the government secondary school, Jeba. But my first 5 years was with Joshua College. So I had to pastor from GSS3.
But then
Right.
you're just
Yes.
inspirational pastor.
No. But my fellowship knew I was in secondary school. I was their pastor. You know, university again. I pastored Winners Campus Fellowship. You know, and then after that, for a few years as well, I became ordained in my church, local church, and all that. But after a while, I pulled out of pastoring, and I'll tell you why. I realized that it became a tool for blackmail. It became a tool for blackmail.
So he be pastor.
And he called himself a pastor, and you know, so now people even, I have many videos online where I say, don't even do business with me because I'm a Christian. Business is business, right? My faith is my faith. If you say I'm a pastor, am I your pastor? Am I the pastor in your own church? So I am a businessman, and that's why I don't use the pastor title. I'm doctor. The title I use is doctor. I've been given honorary doctorate degree, many, over 2 of them. So I decided to adopt that because I used to be called pastor because from second everybody that knew me.
People
secondary
attach you to
school,
Winners Chapel.
Yeah, you know.
Is that where you were?
Yes, that's
where
right.
you were.
Yes, but I'm no longer involved in anything.
But you're still a member of
But you're
Winners
still
Chapel.
a member.
A faithful member, proud member, you know, loyal member. You know, I will defend Bishop Oyedepo any day, anytime, in my sleep.
And Isaac
But,
is your closest
You
palliative.
know, I'm closer more to Steve Oga,
Okay.
you know, than Pastor Isaac. But yes, I'm close to everyone in the system. But for me is do business with me as a businessman, not church, not anything, not even because I'm a Christian. We're all sinners. We're all working towards perfection. Nobody is perfect. Don't use that title. Don't use that sentiment. Don't get carried away by the sentiment of religion. Investigate whoever you want to do business with. Do business with them because you're convinced they have something of value to offer you. You know, because I'm saying this because I know I'm deep. Like I told you, we have a culture, a bullying culture, and social media is our new tool for bullying down, right? And it takes a bigger bully. I mean, we still had to prosecute somebody recently where he was remanded in prison because of, you know, sponsoring some, you know, negative things about my person and all of that. So I tell people, do business with nobody is bad, whether they carry title or pastor or not. They are not right. They are not perfect. They are working towards perfection. Okay, and I didn't start a church. I was working under other people's ministry. So I've never received that an offering in my life. But I believe in giving. I believe strongly in giving. My life has changed because of giving, and I'm very much committed to that. But it's always important to separate some things from some things. Business, church, ministry, music. So now I go to church, worship God, and go home. I'm not involved in any administrative. I used to be actively involved in administrative stuff in church, but I pull out of all so that now I can worship my Maker and I can serve God, you know, because the responsibility. And by the way, I pull out because I started traveling. I got so many responsibilities. So if you hear people call me pastor, they're my former members where I used to pastor some zones, and you know, and today we are close. It's still a family, and all of that. And they still call me pastor privately, but it's between
Yes.
us, me and her, not not general public.
Yes. Sir,
Yeah.
can you confirm that you are a man who became rich by books? Just in a nutshell. Is it man made rich by
Books,
I
God,
want to look at Daniel said,
you know.
I Daniel knew
Yes,
by books
yes,
to
by
confirm.
books, by God, fear of God, integrity, because it's important to measure integrity. Like I said, you can't come from scratch and people start trusting you with millions of dollars if you have not shown some level of integrity, right? And I think that's important. And I want to encourage those viewers, particularly young people. Business don't always go right, but do your part to show your integrity. I have raised funds before for land. In fact, my first set of fundraising I raised for land, I lost all. And I remember calling all my investors, I've lost your money, but as the Lord liveth, I'm paying you. And I paid all of them. Every single one of them. Right? Because they didn't buy land, they only gave me cash to go and buy land, sell the land, then give them some returns. Right? Even though I lost the money because I would pay for land, the Omonile will come, drag us out, we go to another location, we kept going in Ibejuleki axis. We went through all that. I remember, how did I pay them back? Because I'm into speaking and consulting. Up to today, people don't know that I have a consulting program that I charge $20,000, but it's for high net worth. It's for business owners whose business is already doing over $1 million, and they are trying to take the business international. They want certain structure. So I make good. In fact, what I make from coaching is more than enough. I still loan my own company money to do it. Right? So a lot of people don't know that. So I make a lot of money from those private, and there are some rich people in this country. I manage personally their social media page. Anything you see on their page, I'm not posting it. Right? So there are things behind the scene that people don't know. Some people even think it's my company, is real estate. Real estate, well, business is business. It goes through it. But what has helped me is integrity, because I've always make sure, and transparency as well. I will tell you what it is. I will tell you where we are. I'll tell you what we are doing. I'll tell you how far we've come, right? So people know. But of course, in life, some people will like you, some people will not like you. There's nothing you can do about that. Some people say things about you, that's their own business. But God, book, reading. I'm a Harvard trained real estate investor. In fact, I recently had to put, when we started the KT project, I had to put my, because some people will be like, what gives you the boldness to be doing things in US? I said, well, okay, if I ever taught you how real estate works in the US, I don't know who else will teach you better. Plus we've done it practical, but beyond doing practical, we still went to learn. Of course, advanced program, not your normal undergraduate or MBA. But one had been trained, the fear of God, the place of spirituality, but more importantly, the place of mentorship. I've enjoyed counsel, I've enjoyed support, I've enjoyed people who study me. And sometimes we don't talk much, but they understand the issues, right? And behind the scene, they are rooting for me. Behind the scene, they are making moves to say, no, I know this guy, I understand his model, and it has helped. It has helped in a great way. Because some of what we are doing, I don't know how many people can do it. You start a real estate in Nigeria, you expand to Dubai, where an average property in Dubai is almost $500,000. And in 1 year, we became the largest black-owned brokerage by volume of what we were doing, owned by a black man. So, and we're in UK, we're doing brokerage in UK as well. A lot of people don't know. US as well. Even before this KT project, we have 20 units of 3-bedroom townhouse. We're selling in Valdosta. We have a lot of units in Alabama, but those ones were fix and flip. Properties that are dilapidating, you buy, you renovate, then you resell. But this one is like we're building from scratch, up, and that's why there's more noise around it. But yeah, we build, and when we do our business, just like a lot of people know me, when I'm doing business, you have to go through the office. My wife wanted to buy into one of our estates. She still had to go and pick form in the office, negotiate with
Due
head of
process.
sales. Yes, my own wife, and she's also a director in our company. You have to do it by the book. So for me, that's how business has been.
It's not personal now. What clothes do you go into and you feel very comfortable? I mean, the kind of clothes you like.
Agbada.
What food? Okay, agbada is your
Yes,
best.
I love agbada.
I see you mostly in suits sometimes.
Yes, I used to be a suit guy, but as I started doing things internationally and I saw
Okay.
the reputation of Nigerians internationally, I had two options. Either I pretend I'm not a Nigerian, or I wear it like a badge of honor.
Sure.
So I did the others,
Yeah.
the other one.
It's a good
I was
choice.
yes, I was on NBC. They call it KPR TV, the NBC equivalent for Houston in US, some weeks ago, and I went in full. Oh, it was colorful, and the two people interviewing me were white. But it was beautiful, and you could see people reach out and say thank you for that,
Yes.
thank you for that, thank you for making. So those were my two options, but I felt write it with a badge of honor, because it's even when they now start dealing with people like you and they are seeing the integrity you bring to play, that you now start changing that perspective and that perception. Because many of what is going on is the perception internally, where we don't trust ourselves, where things we will take from others we will not take from ourselves. I'll give you a practical example with housing. When you buy a house in the US, it's mortgage. When you default 3 times, some will give you 4 times on your mortgage. Okay, they declare foreclosure. You lose the money you've paid before and you lose the house. Nobody has ever called those companies 419, criminals, thieves. But in Nigeria, you go into a contract similar to, same thing even if you are buying land. Because when you are buying land in the US, you have something called earnest money. It's like a commitment, right? If anything goes wrong, you couldn't meet up, you lose the earnest money, right? You lose it. The same thing in Nigeria, guess what they will tell you? That company is scammer. They will not pay.
But we don't put it on paper. That's why they.
It's on paper. It's on paper. At least I know our company puts it on paper, right? But they will not go to by the paper thing. It's called witchcraft, right? It's called witchcraft. We do it. No, it's called witchcraft, and we are Africans are master of that game. You are masters of that game, because, for example, all I need to do is to say, I've done business with her. She cheated me, and not me alone. We are many. We are many, and then I can instigate 3 more people. So you get this is number. Go and tell him to. We are human now. I hear from this. I hear from this. I hear from this. I hear from this. Before you know me too, I will be careful with her. I don't really understand that. This lady too, why is everybody complaining? So it's become a script we've mastered in the African continent, but of course people have learned how to confront it head-on. Sometimes you have to just confront it and say these are the issues, these are the real facts.
And your best food?
My best food used to be fura de nono.
Okay.
When I was in the north, I love fura and nono. In the south is amala and abula. Yes, abula. The way to beg together with amala. Yes,
Okay,
I'm a
that's
local man. Even when I travel, I've been to over 100 cities of the world.
I wanted to ask how many, sir?
Over 100.
Over 100. And which of them is the most enticing and most interesting?
Which one? I can assure you it has to be the one I got Nigerian food, because even when I travel, like I'm on my way to Paris now, the first thing I will be bothered about once I get to Paris, where do I get Nigerian food? So my favorite city, how many? So I'm trying to know. So I will say Manhattan, New York, and I'll tell you why. Because of my love for real estate. So anytime I'm in New York, I'm always in Manhattan, and I always insist on high floor. I'll now be looking down at, and then it's for me it's a way of meditation. I call it the law of attraction. So I'll be looking at those buildings and say, one day I will build you. I will build you. I will build you. You know, I'll build you. So maybe that's why Manhattan is
Yeah, I guess so.
my
I guess so.
city.
And do you follow sports? Which of the team do you support?
I used to support Chelsea, but I but
My guys are laughing.
I changed to Liverpool, and
So I can say congratulations for yesterday.
And the person I will blame for now liking Liverpool, you will not believe it, is Pastor Poggio Yemadi. Is what I will blame.
That is
anytime I listen to him a lot, and anytime he preaches, it's Liverpool, up Liverpool, we won this match. So later when Chelsea wasn't doing well, and Liverpool seems to be doing well, and incidentally, one day I went to speak in Liverpool, so my host took me to their stadium, so I bought their souvenir. I just said, okay, fine, officially. Even the Chelsea I've been supporting, I've never been to their stadium. So that's when I ported to Liverpool. I'm sorry, Chelsea. You know, I'm still partly your brother.
How long have you been married?
12 years now.
Okay.
Yes.
So you got married quite early?
Not really. I got married 26.
You didn't think it was going to affect your business or?
No.
actually helped it.
Me and my wife had been into business. She used to support me on campus. We met on campus. So the days of doing bulk SMS, the days of doing so, and she understood my dreams, my aspiration very well. And we now we travel a lot with the kids. Christmas we spend part in London, part in US, part in Dubai. You know, so I just carry them along. So my children too, they are travelers.
Okay, so there is no point asking how you manage as a family man, the husband of PC, the father of Sapphire Divine, and what's the other name? Ephraim. And then the CEO of so many outlets.
I create time. So sometimes I'm doing retreats. I go with them. We do one of our games with my kids is bicycle. I mean, there was one that went viral on social media. Was me and two of my children.
I follow you on Twitter.
Yes, me and two of my children. So they defeated me, and I was panting at the back. But I now defeated their mom in hockey table.
That's revenge.
As revenge, you know. So we tried to create that. So what I do is quality time.
Family time.
Quality, not quantity. I could be away for a month, they won't see me. But the time I'm around, quality experiences that they will just be remembering.
Where are they based?
So they shuttle between Nigeria and Dubai. Yes, but I shuttle all over.
But where are they schooling? Because
Nigeria.
They're schooling. Okay, that's good.
So I decided to make them grow up here.
Okay.
Yeah, so they will do their secondary school, university in Nigeria. It was a decision, right? I wanted them to have the African culture. I wanted them to grow up in Nigeria. I wanted them to have, because what I said to myself is I've done the heavy lifting, right? As long as my children stay off drugs, stay off addiction, right? Wherever I leave my empire, at least the next 4 generations will not be poor.
That's great.
So what is more important is not best school, okay, they go to the best school. Is it not job they will use it to look for? Right? So which job do they need that I can't provide? Even the ones that, if they say they don't work for me, by the virtue of where we are, we can call people anywhere in the world. My son needs a job. and they'll give them the job. So, but what is important is that they have sound morals, sound character, integrity, good name, which is better than silver and gold. Respect for elders, taking counsel. Those were. So I felt it would be easier for us to put those things in them here than outside. Yes, so I'm particular about that. For me, that's the only thing I owe them. I don't owe them money. I don't owe them inheritance. I owe them good upbringing. After all, did my parents give me money? Did I not turn out well? So once the good upbringing is there, there's no limit to what they can achieve. Again, I know it's not popular. All my friends are not in my camp. Security. Be careful. I said, that's my own decision. I'm ready to face the consequences.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's been a very wonderful time, Dr. Akintayo, honestly.
And it's been an insightful interview. I'm really impressed.
I thank you more.
You went deep into...
I thank you more. We don't have all the time. We would have gone deeper.
Thank you.
But I believe that you're not in any competition with anybody, especially as regards real estate. Because I know there are so many companies everywhere.
My problem is that, honestly, in business, it's unfortunate that you are not in competition with people, but they have decided to be in competition with you. And it's unfortunate. I remember somebody close to me, we had known each other from university days. So she like her neighbor, we were friends. So one day she said the lady just started my matter. This Stephen Akintayo, is he the only one into real estate? He's too loud, he's too this, gra every day, he's this, he's that. And she listened and wait till she finished. After she finished, she said, this Stephen Akintayo I know and what he has been through, I think he's not loud enough. He said, me and his wife used to be roommates. I used to follow him days of popcorn. I would go and help him sell book. We would run into debt. I know this story. So suddenly, you know him? I said, yes, I know him. And I know the story. Right? And so if you think he's loud, he deserves it. He deserves everything. So I wish everybody well. Even young people I now run a CEO retreat for young real estate developers. They are my competitor, but I will still train them, bring Dr. Cosmos, bring all these bigger, wealthier, experienced entrepreneurs to share with them my own connections to inspire them. That's the only thing I can do. But if you sit somewhere and then you are envying me and then you talk up and down, it's your business. There's nothing I can do about it. But I've learned that it's a sign of growth. When those things happen, you are growing. I mean, who cares about madman on the street? Who cares?
Who talks about him?
Who cares? It's when you are at the top, it's easy to point, right? It's only when you are in front that we can backbite. You cannot backbite somebody you are in front of them.
True.
Right? You have to be at the back of someone that you are backbiting. That's why they call it backbite. Biting from the back. And the reason why the windshield we call it in the car.
Yes, windshield.
Right? Is bigger than the hind. You remember the small one?
Yes.
It's because where you are going is more important.
The rear view mirror, the one in front, rear
right?
view.
Versus the windshield. So where you are going is more important than
looking back,
where you are coming from. And that's why they make where you are coming from small, where you are going big. So for me, it's where I'm going that is more important. Right? And I know, and funny enough, it didn't start. When I was doing bulk SMS too, it was similar. Is it the only one? Bulk SMS. Say, shout. He's spamming us, he's sending us email, he's sending us SMS all the time, he's disturbing us. So today now, the same people will be rich. We are proud of you. We always know you'll be successful.
Exactly.
So I know these things. Recently, somebody came to my office for a training, but it was in my office. So after the training, he said he wanted to see me. So when he entered my office, only for him to kneel down and start saying, I'm sorry. I said, what happened?
You take
Stand up,
patience.
you're embarrassing me. You know, he said, I used to know you way back in the day. He said, one day I called you and I heaped all the curses in this world on your head. He said, if I had known you would come this far in business, I would not have done that. I am sorry. I said, I can't even remember. I can't remember. Stand up. Thank you for even saying this to me. I'm humbled. I'm encouraged. So the same people, we were all in this together. God will spare our life. They will come around.
Please, I would just like to ask this question.
Yes.
With all your experience and to go glory, the wealth you have acquired, acquired, do you desire political leadership in this country anytime in the future?
So, as of today, no. So I don't know whether we have time so that I can go into more detail.
Go ahead.
So my father, because like I said, when his business crumbled, he then became a CNS prophet. He's a most senior apostle prophet. And because of his church, that in 1992, is it 1992 or 1993, MQ Abiola election? 93, Hope 93. He became the the secretary of SDP in Maiduguri. So he was like King Gibe's number 2 man that time. But he never got any elective position. He was just secretary of the party. If I remember, a lot of the mobilization money on the election day were being distributed by my father. But talking about integrity that I learned from that experience, months later, MKO, the dismantling of the election, our house rent was due. We were living in a room and a parlor. Our house rent was due and we couldn't pay. That tells you the integrity my dad used to handle a briefcase of money that he was to use to give party people. And we couldn't even pay house rent. One room and a parlor. We now had to move to a village where there's no running water, no electricity. And so that's my kind of background. But from those days, my dad made us to watch news. We listen to conversations. We will follow him for some meeting and we're hearing. And politics in Nigeria, the headquarters is in the north. Anybody saying otherwise does not understand.
I agree with you.
The wheelbarrow driver in the north is listening to BBC Hausa.
Yes.
And he's being programmed on how the north will react on anything political in this country. Right? So that's the headquarters of politics. So you cannot but see things and not know signs. Right? And so when I talk, people get shocked at my level of exposure, experience, and how I know political maneuvering. I'll give you one. When the wife of the President Tinubu, was being ordained a pastor in Redeem, I was watching it somewhere, and the people beside me, I said, Tinubu will use this very soon. They were looking at me like, what are you saying? I said, he will use it.
As a leverage.
As a leverage. When the election came, I said we use it. And when the Muslim ticket came, what did he say you? My wife is a pastor. I saw that 3 years before the election. So the people who were with me, how did you know? So I get the vibe of this guy may want to go into politics, but no. It's just that I'm very politically aware because of where I'm coming from. My dad is still a grassroots APC chieftain in Abeokuta, you know. But
as a date.
Yeah?
As a date.
As of date. But I didn't even support his party. I'm obedient, you know.
I do see you fighting APC.
Yes, but we debate. Even me and my dad, when we have the chance, we debate issues. Your party, your people, you know. So me, I will tell him. But the truth remains that I'm politically aware. I understand political strategies. I can sit you down and help you plan how you should make move. And you remember, I'm now a trained digital marketing, you know, guy. You know, so how to even use social media, email marketing, SMS marketing, coining words, using articles, all of that. I understand all those things. But that I want to do politics for me, what is in it for me, really? What am I going into politics for?
Power.
You know, power.
That's all that is left.
I laugh when people say that. I really laugh, and I will say this. Gowon released an article. A few days later, ECOWAS removed the suspension on Niger. So it's power by position. I don't know if we understand what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Power is not title, it's not position. Am I powerful to some extent? Yes, I am. Will I grow increasingly more powerful globally? Yes. I'm a young man. I'm a businessman.
Sure.
I have means. I have connection. I have contacts. Yes. But must I go into politics to have power? No, not at all. So I even advise young people who rush into politics, build a name. Where are you coming from? What's your antecedent? If you build something solid, the politician will beg you because they know you have the solution. You have the capacity. You have the answers. There's a meeting that took place yesterday with President and some selected private sector. Say, help us build this economy. What can you do? And that's somebody who understands where he is, his positioning. So for me, I'm very well positioned globally. And growing my business is important to me. Supporting people in government across the world. As I speak to you, I have invitation from 3 presidents. You know, to come and help them in their real estate in their country. 3. And we're still looking internally whether we can add that to where we are. You know, and then how do we navigate the political terrain? Because I've avoided doing things with government because I just know the new person will come and say, yes, it was that old government that empowered you, you know, it was one thing, it was the money, it was so. But I know that increasingly now we don't have a choice. But what we are doing is, and I'm happy to, your organization, Ovation, Boss, newspaper, is to tell the story. So that when you now see us partner with the government of Sierra Leone, you won't say, no, it's Sierra Leone government that made him rich. We have built something that made those people to consider us worthy of partnering with us. So for us, that's what we're doing. But definitely we have no choice at this point now. We have to start partnering with people in government. You know, but we want to make sure our record is clean, our stories are clear. Because if you don't tell your own stories, others will tell their own
the way they want to,
and their own will now become the truth. So we needed to just tell our own.
So for Dr. Akintayo, no politics,
no political agenda. I have friends in all parties. I have friends in all, you know, and I'll continue to have friends in all parties. So, but no plan to join politics. Honestly, I just didn't want to say it's almost like a demotion of some sort. You know, I just don't want to put that out there because nobody knows tomorrow, right? Tomorrow can come now and things have changed. Situation of things have changed. It's not even like you're asking for it. The people that matter are saying you are the one, you have what it takes for your generation. So nobody knows tomorrow. But as of today, to ask me to come and become House of Rep or House of you know, then they will not say he stole 100 million. How much is 100 million? With due respect, in the scheme of what we do.
Yes.
And then Nigerians will now say, you see, 100 million, our money, God will punish am, na barawo, you know. So, I mean, so for me, that's not even one headache I can afford to carry at this moment. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you very much, sir.